Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today, where we're going to be talking about how to buy the right businesses or business without making costly mistakes. So, before we get started, I wanted to quickly introduce myself and share why I'm here talking about business buying today. I know firsthand how overwhelming and frustrating this process can be. When I first started looking for a business to buy, I had no shortage of listings to review, but finding the business that was actually worth buying, that was a different story. Over the past 15 months alone, I've personally interviewed more than 100 business owners and analysed over 50 deals and worked through the same challenges many of you are facing right now. Deals that look good on the surface fell apart under scrutiny, sellers who seemed transparent hid major risks, and financials that appeared solid didn't tell the whole story. And I've seen the pain points buyers struggle with, not knowing where to start, how to filter through thousands of listings to find the right opportunity, feeling stuck, wasting time on deals that don't go anywhere, not knowing what questions to ask, or worse, getting answers that don't actually help. So, fear of making a bad investment, buying the wrong business and regretting it later. But my journey into business acquisitions didn't start here. I've spent years working in and building businesses, leading teams, and scaling operations. In my corporate career, I was leading teams and driving growth focused initiatives that increase revenue and operational efficiency. I've founded and scaled multiple businesses and have had multiple successful exits, so I can comfortably speak from both sides of the table. I specialize personally in identifying business opportunities, structuring operations, and driving measurable growth, skills that have proven invaluable when evaluating businesses for acquisition. What I've learned is that buying a business isn't just about finding the right deal, it's about knowing how to spot risk, how to negotiate smartly, and how to ensure the business you actually buy delivers the results you expect. That's exactly why we're here today. So, if you've ever felt lost, stuck, or unsure about how to confidently move forward in buying a business, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Whether you're a first time buyer or have some acquisitions under your belt, the stakes are incredibly high. Buying an existing business can fast track your path to financial freedom. You get customers and cash flow from day one. But buying the wrong business can in fact be a disaster. Why is this so critical? Consider this. Excuse me. According to industry statistics, only 1 in 15 prospective small business buyers ever actually complete a deal. And of those who do buy, many end up with buyer's remorse or even financial ruin. Various studies have found that 70 to 90% of business acquisitions fail to meet their expected goals. In other words, the odds can be stacked against the uninformed buyer. If you make one wrong move, if you buy a lemon instead of a gem, you could lose thousands of hours and dollars, not to mention the emotional toll. Imagine pouring your life savings and time into a business that looked great only to find out it was a money pit. Unfortunately, it happens more often than you think. Many first time buyers spend months, even years, searching and walk away empty handed. Or, even worse, with a bad deal. I don't want that to be you. I want you to beat the odds. In this webinar, I'll share absolute gold level insights drawn from real cases and my own experience so you can avoid the landmines and confidently spot truly great deals. By the end of our session, you'll know how to articulate what you're looking for, recognize red flags before it's too late, and zero in on opportunities that others might miss. Stay with me because every minute today could save you countless headaches and dollars down the road. Let's jump in. So, before we talk about what to do, we need to confront what not to do. These are the major mistakes that derail buyers. Avoiding these will put you ahead of 90% of other buyers on the market. I'm going to break down the fatal 5 big mistakes that kill deals or lead to painful regrets. Mistake number 1, no clear plan, a spray and pray approach. Many buyers jump into the search without a clear vision of what they actually want. They treat finding a business like a side hobby instead of a dedicated project. This is a huge mistake. In reality, finding a high potential business can actually take 12 to 24 months of serious effort. One Forbes report noted that before a successful purchase, an average buyer might review 100 plus potential deals, do 15 serious analyses, and sign multiple letters of intent or term sheets that do actually fall through. I did this myself when starting. I was looking at any opportunity that came along, and almost every deal was in a new industry, meaning I had to spend hours understanding the basics of that niche before I felt comfortable to move forward and ask the right questions. A few months in, I'd wasted precious time looking at all the shiny objects that came my way. When I adjusted my approach and got more targeted, I started to build momentum and feel more confident. On this particular point, I totally get being open to all opportunities. However, even from the other side, so the sell side, saying you aren't looking in a particular area doesn't make practical sense and actually rings alarm bells in the person's ears. Narrowing down while remaining open to other opportunities outside that is your best way forward, and it makes a lot more sense when you're talking to others. If you don't define your criteria up front, the industry, size, location, revenue, and lifestyle fit, you'll waste time on deals that don't actually suit you. Having a clear criteria ensures that you are focusing your search, allows you to align your search to your skill set, experience, and interest, and it means all your energy is going in the one general direction, meaning that you'll get results faster. Not having a clear plan also means you might quit in frustration or jump on a bad deal out of impatience. I've seen would-be buyers give up because they never ask themselves fundamental questions early on, like, do I really want to do this, an important one, or alternatively, does my family support me in this risk? Without clarity and commitment, the search becomes an emotional roller coaster, and you risk becoming what one expert calls the entrepreneur in heat. So eager to buy something that you start ignoring the warning signs. Remember, it's better to have no deal than a bad deal. So get focused, define what the right business looks like for you, an industry you understand, are passionate about, or a size you can manage, and a location that works for you. And commit the necessary time. Treat the search like a part-time job at a minimum, if not a full-time project. The second mistake is relying on brokers or forced sale sites to source deals primarily. Relying on brokers to source your deals, particularly as a first-time buyer or relatively new business buyer, is setting yourself up for failure. Brokers are salespeople and negotiate on deals every day. If you are new to sales or negotiation, you will get eaten alive. Also, the way brokers think restrict your ability to get a win-win deal. So, as you know, brokers don't work for buyers, they work for sellers, and their pay structure reflects this. Most brokers charge an upfront listing fee plus a commission on the final sale. However, with 80% of businesses never selling, their main income often comes from upfront fees rather than actual transactions. To secure listings, brokers frequently overpromise on price, telling sellers their business is worth more than the market will pay, which makes negotiations difficult, as the seller has already been pre-framed to expect a high price and has mentally spent their sale windfall. On top of that, most brokers are not open to creative deal structures like seller financing or earnouts, even when they make sense for both parties. Their limited understanding of deal structuring and their preference for clean all-cash sales means they shut down offers that could actually work for both. This is why relying on brokers often leads to overpriced listings, rigid deal terms, and missed opportunities, especially for new buyers. The best deals are almost always found off-market, where you can negotiate directly with sellers and structure terms that work for both sides. Business that are for sale through a broker or already on the market means you have competition, and you want to minimize the amount of competition you are competing against to give yourself the best chance of success. Having competition means that the seller, even if the business is overpriced and likely to end up like the 80% that don't sell, they still see the interest as confirmation that they will find a buyer. Therefore, you have almost zero chance in educating them around the reality of how businesses are sold, meaning 60% of businesses that are sold are actually sold with terms, so some element of deferred payment. You are making your life much harder by focusing on deals that are already on the market, particularly through a broker. Mistake number 3, assuming all sellers are motivated. Unless you are planning on paying a full upfront cash payment for the business you're trying to buy, which is not recommended, making sure the seller is motivated the right way is paramount to being able to successfully close the deal. Have you ever tried working with a seller who thought was properly motivated only to find they weren't open to talk about price and terms? How much time did you waste with that business owner before you realized it was a dead end? I personally did this countless times. On so many occasions, I told myself that even though the seller wasn't super motivated, I could get them over the line, only to find that I wasted hours and hours on analysing the deal, formulating an offer, only to meet complete resistance to anything that wasn't what the seller was asking for. I quickly realized that being able to identify true motivations in the first or second conversation was paramount in not wasting time on dead end deals. The top motivations that I have seen are those that are either burnt out, they have health issues, they're moving, or some other time bound reason where they are truly motivated to get an outcome within a period of time. They're the only sellers that I work with now. If a seller says something along the lines of, I'm not in a rush to sell, but I'm seeing what's out there, I can personally quickly identify if they are truly motivated by saying something along the lines of, it sounds like you're not completely ready to sell. I personally only work with highly motivated sellers because I've found that owners that aren't truly motivated waste my time. If they jump in and quickly change their story and oftentimes tell you the truth, it's worth asking a few more questions to uncover if they are truly motivated. If they show you that they aren't motivated, politely decline. To move any further forward and wish them well. But don't forget to mention when they are ready to sell to reach out. Doing this will ensure you aren't spending precious time on sellers that are never going to agree to a deal. You need to be ruthless here, otherwise you spend months and even years and end up with no deal. The fourth mistake is not having a pipeline of opportunities. Having a number of opportunities in your business buying pipeline is massively important to ensure you don't end up justifying the purpose of a bad deal. If you only have one opportunity that you are looking at and some red flags pop up, it feels like a bigger letdown than if you were to have 3 or 4 that you can focus on. Having one opportunity that falls through feels significantly worse and a big hit, whereas having multiple makes the impact much less because you are still moving forward towards your goal of acquiring a business. Mistake number 5 is overpaying or overestimating potential. Beware of optimism to the point of delusion. First-time buyers often hear a seller or a broker touting the future potential of a business. Oh, this could double in a year if you just do X, Y, Z. It's awesome to have a growth mindset, but don't pay today for results that might or might not happen tomorrow. One common mistake is basing your valuation on future hope or falling for inflated projections. Sellers sometimes set prices based on how much the business could make in an ideal scenario, rather than what it's making now. If you're not careful, you'll end up overpaying for an unproven dream. Overestimating potential can also mean underestimating the challenges. Maybe you think I'll boost sales 50% easily because I have a plan. But ask yourself, if it was so easy, why didn't the current owner do it? Often there are reasons. Maybe the market isn't as receptive or those marketing ideas cost more than you think. It's fine to buy a business for its potential. That's what savvy entrepreneurs do. But your offer should reflect reality, not wishful thinking. A good practice is to value the business as it is today and treat any future growth as your upside, your reward for your hard work after purchase. Also, keep your emotions in check. Sometimes buyers fall in love with a business. It's exactly what they want and they start rationalizing a higher price or overlooking flaws. This emotional attachment can lead to irrational decisions and financial losses. The right deal will make sense on paper and in practice. If it doesn't, walk away. There will be other opportunities. I've seen people make this mistake and have gone bust only months after settlement. Do not become a motivated buyer. Alright, we've covered pitfalls. Now let's talk about what makes a business acquisition truly great. What should you actively look for? How do you know when you've found a winner among all the listings and prospects? In this section, I'll break down specific criteria and analysis techniques to identify a high quality deal. These are signs that a business is not only solid, but also a good match for you. The kind of deal that sets you up for success and grows your wealth, not headaches. Think of this as a checklist of green flags and essential factors. A great deal might not have all of these qualities, and lacking 1 or 2 doesn't necessarily mean a deal breaker, but the more boxes you can tick, the better. We'll also bring in some real-world examples to illustrate how these can play out. The first one being it fits your skills, experience, and goals. The best deal is one that fits you like a glove. We touched on this earlier. Alignment is everything. A great business for you is one where you understand the model or are excited to learn it and where your existing strengths can add value. Ask yourself, does this business align with my knowledge, interests, and long-term plans? As an example, if you have a background in digital marketing, an e-commerce business with strong operations but weak marketing could be a great deal. You can step in and drive growth. On the other hand, if your goal is to have a semi-passive income and the business requires you to work 60 hours a week on tasks you hate, it's probably not a great fit. Aim for a company where you can leverage your talents and truly enjoy the work of improving it. Acquisition expert David Barnett emphasizes narrowing your search and finding a business that fits your unique skills and needs. When you find that, you not only have a better chance of running it well, but you'll be more motivated to overcome challenges because you're engaged with the business concept. A real world example for this one is there was an entrepreneur who loved technology and had management experience in the IT sector. He came across a small manufacturing company. The numbers were great. However, you needed a lot of manufacturing knowledge to run the business. Instead of forcing it, he passed on this particular deal. He later found a cloud service business whose owner was retiring. This was right up his alley. He understood the clients, the tech, everything. He bought it and grew it by 50% in the first year because he could immediately apply his skills and also modernize some outdated processes the previous owner had. That's the power of a good fit. Bottom line, if you feel the business was almost made for you, that's a strong signal of a potentially great deal. Green flag number 2, transparent financials and solid performance. A great deal will withstand financial scrutiny. The numbers don't just look good at a glance, they hold up under deep analysis. Here's what to look for. Consistent or growing revenues and profits. Is the business making money year on year? Clean books. All income and expenses are properly documented. You should have access to at least 3 years of financial statements and tax returns that match those statements. A great deal is one where the seller is forthcoming and the figures can be verified. Healthy margins and cash flow. Look at profit margins, both gross and net. Are they typical for the industry or even better? High margins can indicate a strong competitive advantage, a good sign. Reasonable add-backs or adjustments. In small business sales, sellers often adjust earnings for one-time or discretionary expenses like their own perks. Some adjustments are normal, but if the adjusted profit assumes too many add-backs, you have to validate each one. A clean, great deal usually doesn't rely on over-the-top adjustments to look attractive. The third green flag is fair price and strong ROI. Even a great company can be a bad deal if you pay too much. So a key element of spotting a great deal is valuation. Is the asking price or the price you can negotiate fair and likely to give you a good return on investment? For small and medium businesses, a common valuation approach is using earnings multiples. And a very rough rule of thumb is many small businesses sell for around 1.5 to 4 times their yearly earnings, which is actually a seller's discretionary earnings or adjusted net profit, depending on the industry and the business's characteristics. The median is often there around 3 for small companies. If you find a solid business and it's priced in that reasonable range, that's a promising sign. It means if the earnings continue, you'd earn back your investment in 3 to 4 years, an excellent ROI compared to many alternatives. Now, fair doesn't always mean cheap. Sometimes a business is undervalued and perhaps the seller is in a hurry. Those can be amazing deals if everything checks out. More commonly though, undervalued might mean there are hidden issues, so tread carefully and use the other criteria here to confirm it's genuinely a gem. On the flip side, if a seller is asking for say 6, 7, 8 times earnings for a small business with no extraordinary assets or growth rate, it's likely overpriced unless you see something others don't. One analysis tip is do a simple ROI calculation. If you buy at X dollars and the annual profit after your costs, including financing costs, is Y dollars, what yield is that? Small business deals often can yield 20 to 30% annual return on the purchase price. If your projected return is low, for instance, paying $1 million for a business making $100K a year or a 10% return, that's not very compelling given the effort and risk of running a business. Unless you have strong evidence, you can grow that 100K quickly. Compare the deal to other uses of your money and time. A great deal should stand out as clearly worthwhile. And lastly, consider getting an independent valuation or appraisal if you're unsure. An expert valuator can provide an objective view and ensure you're not overpaying when price and value line up right. You can proceed with much more confidence. Green flag number 4 is a strong reputation and loyal customer base. Great businesses tend to have one thing in common: happy customers and a good name in the market. When evaluating a deal, pay attention to the company's reputation, brand value, and customer relationships. These are intangibles that can make a huge difference in your success post-acquisition. Goodwill in the market. Does the business have positive reviews and word of mouth? If it's a local business, ask around the community or industry, is it well regarded? A business with a strong reputation gives you a head start. A great deal often comes with brand equity, perhaps not a household name, but respected in its niche. Loyal and repeat customers. So check the customer data. Do they have many repeat buyers or long-term clients? A stable, loyal customer base is a fantastic asset. It indicates satisfaction and reduces your risk. You know there's likely a baseline revenue that will continue. Why do customers choose this business? Try to identify the business's unique selling points or competitive advantages. A great deal is one where the business has a defensible niche or a solid differentiator in the market. An example of this: imagine two businesses for sale, both in the same industry with similar finances. Business A has lukewarm online reviews, no identifiable brand differentiation, and customers switch to competitors often. Business B has raving fans, strong community presence, and perhaps some long-term contracts with key clients. Even if the numbers on paper are similar, Business B is a great deal because it has built-in trust and loyalty. You, as the new owner, can capitalize on that foundation rather than fight uphill to gain credibility. In practice, during due diligence for reputation, you might do things like reading Google reviews, searching social media mentions, talk to a few top customers with permission at the right stage, and observe customer interactions if it's possible. Goodwill is real. It's often what you're paying for beyond hard assets, and if it's there, that's gold. If it's not, consider how hard it will be to create from scratch. Hint, very hard. Fifth green flag is minimal red flags and manageable risks. No business is perfect, but a great deal has no major skeletons in the closet. By the time you're seriously considering a purchase, you should have a checklist of potential red flags, and the great deal will come out pretty clean on that check. Here are some things to verify. No big hidden liabilities. You want to ensure you won't inherit nasty surprises. Confirm there are no unreported debts, legal judgments, pending lawsuits, or regulatory issues that could blow up later. Now, you will likely solve this as an asset purchase, but it's still good to keep in mind. Customer concentration risk is low. If one or two customers make up a huge chunk of revenue, that's a big risk. The ideal scenario is a diversified customer base so that no single client can make or break the business. A stable supplier and employee relationships. Similar to customers, you don't want key suppliers or key employees to abandon ship when the current owner leaves. A great deal will have either stability in these areas or a backup plan. Industry and external environment check. Make sure that the wider industry isn't facing a meltdown. Buying a travel agency in late 2019 might have looked great until COVID hit in 2020. An extreme example of external risk. While you can't predict some events, you can research trends. Is the product or service of this business likely to be in demand for years ahead? Is technology changing in the market? In a great deal, either the industry is stable or growing, or the business has shown it can adapt to changes. If the business is in a declining industry and not innovating, it might be a value trap, not a value deal. The key here is due diligence, again, but focused on risk factors. When you find a business that passes the risk test, no glaring liabilities, diversified and loyal stakeholders, and a favorable outlook, you've got a very positive signal. Always remember, if something about the deal makes you uneasy, investigate it further. Sometimes one red flag can outweigh a bunch of green flags. But if your deep dive finds no significant red flags beyond the usual small bumps, you likely have a winner on your hands. Green flag number 6, real opportunities for growth and improvement. One hallmark of a fantastic deal is that the business isn't at peak performance yet. In other words, you can clearly see how you could grow it or improve it once you take over. This is where your insight and creativity come into play. Ideally, the business is already profitable, so you're safe, but also a bit undervalued or under-optimized because the current owner hasn't capitalized on certain opportunities. As David Barnett advises, find a business that makes money and has problems you know how to address. That's the sweet spot. Look for areas where the business could do better with the right effort of investment. Perhaps their marketing is minimal or outdated. Perhaps pricing is below market and you could gradually rise prices to match the value provided. Perhaps the product or service lineup could be expanded. Perhaps costs can be reduced. Or maybe the business is only serving one local area, but there's demand in neighbouring regions or online. When you evaluate a business, ask the seller and yourself, what would you do to grow this business if you kept it? Often, the seller might have ideas they never pursued from lack of capital, energy, or know-how. Or they might say, honestly, I think it's as far as I could take it. But you might spot angles they don't. If these improvements are in areas you are skilled in, back to the fit we spoke about before, that's perfect. Remember Barnett's quote, the business has an unending runway if it's already profitable, and your fixes and improvements can create greater value. In summary, the ideal acquisition target is profitable but underperforming its potential, not due to fatal flaws, but due to fixable issues. If you see those fixable issues and know how to fix them, that's a huge green light. That's a deal, could be a home run when you take the reins. Seller support and a smooth transition plan. Finally, look at the human side of the deal. Is the seller setting you up for success in the transition? A great deal often includes a cooperative seller who is committed to a smooth handover. This can manifest in a few ways. Seller financing is a great example. When a seller is willing to finance part of the purchase, for example, you pay them a portion of the price over time, it's often a sign of confidence. It signals the seller believes the business will continue to do well under your ownership because they're literally betting on it by acting as a lender. For you, it means the seller has skin in the game after closing, and you typically get the benefit of not paying the full price up front. Many savvy buyers actually prefer deals with some seller financing for these reasons. It aligns interests and provides reassurance that the seller isn't just taking the cash and disappearing on a shaky business. Training and transition period. Almost every sale will involve some transition period where the seller stays on to teach you the ropes for a few weeks or months. In a great deal, the seller is truly helpful during this time. They document processes, they introduce you to key contacts, and share the nuances that aren't in the manuals. Ideally, you want a written commitment in the contract for how long they'll help. Say it's 30 days full training plus phone support for 6 months or something similar. Employee attention and morale. If the business has employees, a smooth transition is critical. A great deal will have a plan, either formal or informal, for keeping the team on board and motivated. Perhaps the seller has already quietly assessed which key employees are likely to stay. Maybe they've agreed to help announce and frame the transition positively. If you can walk in and have the employees give you a chance instead of all quitting or feeling insecure, that's massive. Some of the best deals are ones where the staff is stable and even excited to work with a new owner with fresh energy. Contracts and continuity. Ensure that important operational details transfer to you. For instance, if the business premises is leased, has the landlord agreed to transfer or sign a new lease with you? If there's a franchise or license involved, is that process clear? A cooperative seller will often assist in these approvals and paperwork to make sure you can step into the shoes without hiccups. In short, a supportive seller and a well-planned transition greatly increase the chances that the business will not miss a beat when you take over. So those are the 7 major hallmarks of a great deal. Fit, financial strength, fair price, good reputation, low risk, growth upside, and smooth transition. When you find a business that checks most of these boxes, you've likely found one that's worth pursuing aggressively. Remember, no deal is better than a bad deal, and following what we've discussed today will ensure you don't end up with a bad deal. Now, we've covered a lot today. You now have a clear understanding of how to find the right business, assess risks, evaluate financials, and structure a winning offer. But here's the reality. Knowledge alone isn't enough. Information without execution is just potential wasted. The real challenge isn't knowing what to do, it's knowing how to do it correctly, avoiding costly mistakes, and having the right support to navigate the process. Because let's be real, buying a business is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Get it right and you'll set yourself up for massive success. Get it wrong and you could cost yourself hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Most buyers struggle with three major things. Finding the right deals. There's so much noise out there, and the best businesses never even hit the market. Evaluating a deal properly. Miss one financial or operational red flag and you could be stuck with a business that drains your time and money. And the third one, structuring and negotiating like a pro. Most people leave tens of thousands on the table or worse, get stuck in a deal that's completely one-sided. And I know this because I've been exactly where you are. And I've worked with countless buyers who are spinning their wheels, missing deals or overpaying because they didn't have a clear, proven system to follow. That's exactly why I created the Acquisition Edge Bootcamp. It's not just another course, it's a step-by-step, battle-tested system designed specifically to take you from overwhelmed and uncertain to confidently acquiring a business that fits your goals, skills, and financial capacity. Inside the bootcamp, you get interactive coaching, you learn the key strategies and processes that will get you more deals in a shorter period of time, the exact deal finding strategies I use to uncover off-market businesses. That's before they hit the listings where there is no competition. The financial evaluation frameworks to instantly spot red flags and hidden risks. Negotiation tactics that help you structure deals that protect you as the buyer and are win-win for both parties. Plug and play templates and calculators to save you time and give you clarity on valuations, deal structuring and due diligence. And access to expert insights. Top tier lawyers and accountants who will give you the golden insights you need to de-risk your purchase and set you up for success post-acquisition. You're getting everything you need to confidently find, evaluate and acquire a great business without making costly mistakes. Now, let's talk about cost versus value. If you were to go through this process alone, you'd either overpay for bad advice, whether that's accountants, brokers, consultants who may not have ever have acquisition experience, waste months or years stuck in analysis paralysis, give up and stop looking for deals, or worse, buy the wrong business and lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in hidden liabilities. But with this bootcamp, you get a proven roadmap, expert guidance, and every tool you need at a fraction of the cost. Now, normally access to the bootcamp alone would be worth well over $4,997, and if you went through trial and error alone, it could cost you far more than that. But today, you're getting everything: the full Business Buyers Bootcamp, bonus expert sessions, resources and tools to help streamline your business buying journey, and lifetime access to all the materials for just $997. And because I want to reward action takers, the first 10 people who join today will also get an exclusive special bonus, a private Q&A with me, and access to discounted support. So, scan the QR code now, lock in your spot, and let's go get you on your fast track to acquiring the right business the right way. This is the opportunity to invest in your success, your financial future, and your ability to acquire a business with confidence. The choice is yours. You can keep trying to figure it out alone, or you can follow a proven path and shortcut to your success. Look, I'm going to leave the screen on this screen for a little bit of time to give you guys time to kind of scan that in. If anyone is having issues scanning the QR code, please reach out to me and ask, and I can give you access via a link. So we've already had 5 people sign up. John from Queensland, Sam from Byron Bay, awesome. Sunny Byron Bay. Hopefully it's a little bit sunnier than where we are now. Stephen and who's the other one there? Jody, awesome work. Seeing some people sign up there. It's so awesome to see people sign up, taking action on their future. So what we'll do now, for those who want to take action or take this even further, I've also built something game-changing called the Acquisition Edge platform. This is your unfair advantage in buying businesses because it gives you 24/7 access to expert deal analysis and your own M&A advisory board to help you vet opportunities faster. A growing community of serious buyers so you're not doing this alone. A central hub to access premium deal flow and opportunities. Tools to make your acquisition pathway smooth, simple, and straightforward. This is groundbreaking, this platform, and you haven't seen it anywhere else because this is the first of its kind. With the Acquisition Edge, you get the knowledge, resources, and the network you need to succeed as a business buyer. Sign up today and you get massive discount on your first year. And this offer is only open to those of you that are on the webinar today. And you'll be given first access to the platform once it's live, which is only a couple of weeks away. We have a massive roadmap of development and tools that will speed up your success, simplify deal analysis, and give you access to top tier support and advice for a fraction of the cost of having your own M&A team on board. Usually, this platform costs $197 a month, and you're going to get early and full access for just $97 a month after the first week being $7 for just 7 days to ensure that you absolutely love the platform, which I'm sure you will. Now, signing up today will lock in your special price while we finalize a few things on the back end. Once we launch, you will be the first to know and the first to gain access to these groundbreaking tools. Only those that sign up today get this deal. This is a one-off. After the webinar, the price goes back up to standard pricing. I want to reward action takers and those that are serious about succeeding in their acquisition journey. I'll see you all on the inside.